I would want my parents to have an in-law in the house.
Oh my fucking word.
You and Babs can
No.
Babs can come live with you.
No. Don't you
forget about me. Don't. I didn't even know you were recording.
It's recording on there. It's just not.
There's a red dot.
There's a red dot.
There's a red dot.
There's a red dot somewhere else too.
Frick off.
I didn't say anything about you. Not everything's about you.
You literally just pointed out the fact that I have a giant zit on my forehead.
I mean, that was, I'm not going to lie, that joke was about you, but it still proves my point that not everything is about you, though. What is up with this?
Sorry, I can't see without my glasses. My glasses. All right.
The look that I was going for was supposed to be a little bit older. You know what I think it is? I just said this to somebody. I think finally bringing Betsy to life, because I've been doing that voice forever.
I know. It's like your chain smoker.
Yeah, and it started like years ago. But this is the first time I like brought her to life. But in my brain compartment, she had darker hair, but I didn't have a dark hair wig. So
we gotta get you that then.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, hi.
Hey.
Joseph created a character named Betsy who was featured on my YouTube channel, Shut Up Camilla, and she partaketh in Crumble Cookie Monday. And for those of you who can watch this, hold on. BRB.
Do you want the wig too?
It's right there.
Yeah. See, that's one where I actually kept the like the bag that it goes into. Bro, you're gonna get hot as fuck in that. Good luck. So I have two. I have two like blonde wigs.
The other one's ratchet. I wouldn't even call that.
The other one's just, it's so disgusting. That was the initial look I was going for, but I felt like it would be too ratty and like would get in the way too much. But this one also got in the way. Like, it smells bad?
Something smells bad. Oh.
Is it? Nah, really? It's probably because I was sweating like crazy in it.
I can't even do the voice. It's Betsy. I can't.
Oh, God.
Like, my voice can't crackle like that. It takes a different kind of.
Yeah. It's you know why? Because you can tell it's a wig, especially because your eyebrows are dark. It's like
Try to cover them a little bit.
it's like a whole different. If you ever wanted to know what you looked like blonde, now you know.
Debatable.
Bro, first of all, you're wearing a stinky robe.
It smells so bad.
What does it smell like? Now I'm interested.
I don't know. It's not good.
Really? You know what though?
Like food, to be honest.
Food?
Yeah, it smells like you had cooked in this before, and the cook's like.
That thing did not see any fucking cooking.
Yeah, because you don't cook.
And nor did any of my other clothing. But I did leave it down in the basement, so I don't know. Maybe that's why. But I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so that's Betsy. If you're actually watching, that was Betsy.
That was Betsy. She
Betts. You call her Betts. Hey, Betts.
She's a cutie. So today's episode.
You going no headphones, bro?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was like, what feels weird?
Some people are like, that's like a thing. Like, oh, the headphones are unnecessary.
But like, I like to be able to hear myself.
Me too. So shut the fuck up.
Oh.
But I've heard people say
Aggressive.
that, like, not to us, but like, yeah.
No one would say that to us.
You don't really need headphones. I've heard that in like the podcasting thing. It's like, yeah, but I prefer them.
I just feel like I'd like to also hear that there's like you know how that one time we got static when we were talking? We wouldn't know that we got static if we weren't listening.
I think if you have a third party that is listening and monitoring the audio.
Skylar Batz.
Skylar, like if she was here with us all the time.
Different, yeah.
That's different.
We're a 2-man team.
We're a 2-man team with one camera angle.
With a 3-man, everyone, like, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We're a 3-man, 2-man team.
Pretty much. Yeah, with one camera angle. I mean, one day, you know, you start getting some funding and whatnot, you know.
Joseph did want to buy another camera. He was this close to.
I'm still, like, I'm really trying to figure out
how to financially buy that.
I'm going to.
Feel free to Venmo us.
That's true. We do have a Venmo set up, which I feel weird. Like, but we also have T-shirts for sale.
We do have T-shirts.
I don't know where we're selling them. You just got to DM us, I think.
Yeah, send a DM to either mine or Joseph's or Hate That For Me.
Yeah,
and you can get a T-shirt.
We'll send a T-shirt. $20.
I love our T-shirts. They're cute.
I know I didn't wear it yet. We got to wear it on the episode.
Yeah, we do.
And what is this episode about? As we were a few minutes in.
Money. What are we going to call it?
Money, cash, hoes.
No, more money, more problems. More money, more problems. More money.
I mean, that's fine. But what are we talking? We're talking about like, huh?
More money, less problems.
In some regard, that's fair. But what about money specifically?
So Joseph had a dream. He had a dream. You go. You tell the dream. You tell your own dream. This happened last night after he had this like weird melatonin-ish.
All right. So
it makes him have vivid dreams.
Yeah, that is true. Shout out on it. New mood. But it's really good because if you're like wiry,
yeah.
I don't take it every night, but because I got shit sleep, I was like, I need something to just kind of like take me over the edge. So I took 2, which you can take 2.
Okay.
But you take 2. No, you can. The serving size is like 2. Okay. But sometimes I'll just take 1. But I'm like, you know what? I need to get the fuck out for like hours. So I took 2. And what happens is you wake up semi-groggy, not bad, not like on fucking NyQuil.
Okay.
But you do have some vivid fucking dreams.
Okay.
So last night I had a dream, and it's one of those dreams that stopped. It went all the way until I actually woke up.
Okay.
You ever have those?
Yeah.
Like they just
like you literally you woke up and you remember the last thing that happened in your dream. Right. Yeah.
So that's what this dream was. Your glasses are fogging up.
I know. It's getting a little sweaty in here. I feel like I'm also a mouth breather, so it's like
yeah.
It's just
like heavy.
Dude, I'm going to go see a doctor about it.
You're saying it like I'm making fun. Well, I am
no.
Fun of you,
I literally am going to see it because apparently like it can recede. Apparently it recedes your jaw because you're such a mouth like it's because I can't breathe through my nose. Ready? Hold on. Ready? That's one. Ready?
Yeah.
That one's a little better now. It was tougher upstairs, but yeah.
I always wanted to get mine checked too. But you do. And the reason I said it was because when you were away last week and you were on FaceTime, I was like looking at you.
And I was literally like, I think I was like looking at something. So I was like.
Yeah. And I'm like, does your mouth ever close? Because she just kind of like looks around like.
Dude, I can't help it. But apparently this doctor can they tape your mouth shut while you're sleeping. So it forces you to do it through.
Maybe they could do it during the day too. Give Nick a break.
But the problem with that is if you tape your mouth shut, like people who close their mouth, they're more likely to clench their jaw and also grind their teeth. And I definitely don't have that problem because my mouth is not closed when I sleep. So I'm like, am I going to be introducing more problems by doing that? Potentially.
It could be. Like I clench, especially like if I'm anxious.
Yeah.
I unknowingly do it and I'll get like headaches.
Yep.
Because I'm clenching
so I'm like,
so bad.
Am I just saving myself from problems or am I going to put myself in a bigger problem? I don't know.
Dude, but that mouth.
Anyways, continue. Shut up. Go.
That's why they call you Shut Up Camilla, because your mouth never shuts.
You had a dream, so Joseph.
I did. I had a dream. Sorry, we went off on a tangent. I had a dream, and it was like very vivid. And what was happening in my dream was I was in the process of like getting married. So it was a nightmare off fucking rip. So
if anyone knows Joseph personally, we don't know if marriage is going to be. Is marriage going to be a thing in your life? We don't know. We also don't know if kids.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I'm not sure.
We got time. Anyways, continue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Babs.
Why? She has a grandkid now. It's fine.
True.
Put the pressure on John. So it was a nightmare because I was in the process of getting married, and it was like probably over the course of a weekend that this shit was happening. Wherever the fuck I was with other people, and there was like families and shit there. Mm-hmm. Mostly people I didn't necessarily know, but we were somewhere. And so I woke up right of the morning of the wedding. Then I woke up and the whole dream. But in the process, right, I was like, yo, I really don't want to get married. So that was the foundation of the whole fucking dream nightmare. Was I was getting married and I didn't want to. And I was almost doing it just because it was so late in the process that I didn't want to pull the plug on it and make people feel bad.
Yep.
So I like stuck in it the whole time. But then over the course of that dream too, there was shit where like it was almost like we were getting divorced before we even got married. So I had to do a thing where like I had to pay her quarterly. I don't know what fucking state we were in where this was okay, but because I think there was a financial discrepancy of like income, I had to like pay her money every like quarter.
Even though you were getting married and not divorced.
Yeah, which is, again, so fucking weird. And then the other part of it was I had to sell this house so we could get another house.
Which you bought this house on your own.
Right.
So naturally, Joe's having a mild panic attack in his dream because he's having to share money with this person that he's marrying over a house that he bought by himself. Right. So my moral of the story of this whole dream was very different than Joseph's. Joseph, what was your moral of the story?
The moral of the story on my end was, I was going through with this whole thing because obviously it had already been planned before I started dreaming, right? And we were at the point of like
about to get
the
married.
Wedding weekend.
Yeah.
And I was going to go through with doing something I didn't want to do just to appease somebody else. And the moral of the story for me was don't do shit just to appease other people because you could be fucking yourself. And that's what I was doing. Like internally, I was dying.
And my moral of the story is, which is how this topic for today got birthed, was hatched was because Joseph has this underlying fear and pure terror of money, people, for lack of a better word, fucking with his money. And this is something that he's brought up in like conversations before, which is why I know that this is a thing. And it just presented itself in a dream form. So I think it was less about the wedding and everything, but it was like more of you had to share this money that this person didn't deserve because of whatever reasons of rules in your dream, but you had to share it. And that was so terrifying for you that the icing on the cake was the wedding. Like that was all that was like the cherry on top, but all the underlying is Joseph just, you have this thing with money, which is a great thing to have it, but you have this underlying fear of people messing with your money.
Yeah. I mean,
and it presented itself in a dream form.
I think it's because I've gotten things on my own and I've seen like divorces happen where the guy gets fucked. It just happens. The guy gets fucked, whether right or wrong, and not a personal experience. Yeah. But not for me, but personally.
Just in general.
It's happened, and it was like I watched somebody work their fucking ass off and pay for all this shit, which I don't know if this was in my brain before this, but
so I was telling you that where people tend to have dreams of one of the last thoughts that they had before they go to bed. This isn't always the case, but most times it's usually like a thought that you've had before going to bed or that day, some kind of underlying thing that you've thought about, and it just presented itself in a dream. It's a subconscious thing. So
and that's
like,
fair.
You must have been thinking about maybe I was gone for a wedding. You were like, weddings. Okay, check. And then like the money thing, something was happening. I don't know. You're paying a lot for this house and reno and whatever else maybe.
I think because right before I fell asleep, I was watching Getting Even with Dad.
Okay.
Did you ever see that?
No.
Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin.
I know it, but I
it's
never
great.
ended up watching it.
But there is like a money thing in there.
So you applied it to your personal life.
Maybe. But again, like there is a fear with that. When you talk about marriage and shit, it's like I'm not ruling it out, but it would have to be like there'd have to be like prenups and shit. And in my dream, I was like, is it too late to do the prenup now? Like for real.
We actually, so we're going to stay on topic of that, but I'm going to wrap marriages kind of all up in one. Joseph and I have very different views on marriages. So like, I understand the prenup thing to so much of an extent. I do. But I would almost be like a little, I guess, butthurt if someone brought it up. But I understand your reasoning. You say, like, someone else had said it. It's like you have insurance on your car. You have insurance on everything else in life. Like, why wouldn't you insure this? Totally get it. But that's where I get a little butthurt versus you get a little butthurt if a girl doesn't take the last name of the guy or, like, whatever. And we had a conversation. That got brought up during the wedding I was gone at. I don't remember how it got brought up.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I guess why would you be butthurt if somebody asked for a prenup?
I think for me, it's like you're already doubting that something else, like something would happen to our relationship. Like you're already setting it up for failure because you're assuming something potentially would happen. And it's like,
but again,
I guess you can never be
too,
you never could be too sure, I'm sure. That's why I have like a very mixed feeling about that.
I mean, I get that, but it's also, it's the same thing with the insurance. It's like
you're already going in with the notion of something bad happening.
I think it's just because it's so hard to predict because people change and people grow and, you know, things can happen. It's like, why should I get half of your shit that you got on your own and vice versa? Like if I got married and like lived here, right? Even though it's a multifamily, but if they moved out or something, like if I sold this place, they would get half.
I think I can only relate things to like my family and like my person, like my parents never did that. But also I have a different experience. Like my parents just yesterday celebrated 32 years together.
No, 33.
33 years.
Because I finally, because your mother said it. She
said
no 33. Way. She's like,
okay.
They were supposed to do something and he was working. She was working.
We always go somewhere for their anniversary. That's like our one like trip that we always do together as a family. Mm-hmm. And my dad obtained another store that he's moving our liquor store to. So he has too much money tied up, too many things going on, stresses from 2 stores plus his job, whatever else. So instead we went out to dinner. My mom worked yesterday. We went out to dinner on Wednesday night. I bought my parents a present that they're not going to be getting for a few weeks. And currently my parents called me and they're at Foxwoods right now. So they're having themselves a little day. Well, at least
they're celebrating. Mm-hmm. You know, I told her that that means next year they have to double up. Yeah. And I also said, keep the kid at home. Why are you going on vacations? But you're 30 fucking years old. They don't want you there.
They do want me there.
They don't want you there.
That's such a...
They want...
My mom didn't tell you that.
No, she didn't have to. I could see it in her eyes.
No, my parents love me. They want me to come to places.
Bro, you're like 30. You got to stop going on vacations with mom and dad. They don't want you there. They want their time alone.
I beg to differ.
Bro, they don't want you there. Trust me.
And I sleep on the little couches. They have the bed because we all share a room.
Bro,
we've always shared a room.
You gotta cut the cord. I mean,
I'll do a queen bed. We'll do 2 queen beds, and it's funny because most of the time my mom will come sleep with me, and then let my dad have the whole bed.
Bro, this explains so much because you're an only child, and like this type of behavior, and you can tell your parents are like stay together because you have this fucking completely different fucking mentality than I do.
But that's what I mean. It's like I have a very different like view on things. So it's like for me, when I get older, like. And I talked to Nikki about that. Like, I would want my parents to have an in-law in the house.
Oh, my fucking word.
You and Babs can...
No.
Babs can come live with you.
No.
See, for me, like...
She's going in a home.
No!
She knows it.
Babs.
knows it.
Babs, I'll come save you. Don't worry. In the Middle Eastern culture, like, you don't put your family in homes like that.
I'm not sure that would happen. But... it depends on the situation, but like the fact that you're already saying it's like you move out and then you want your fucking parents to live with you again.
No,
why?
When I get a house in the future, like down the road and stuff like that, like I would love to have like not an in-law, like I guess it technically is an in-law, but I want to do one of those things where they have like a separate little like cot house type deal. It has a bathroom, whatever. but it's in like the backyard. Like I want to have enough land to be able to do that.
Do you know that it's always the girl that wants the shit, and it's never the guy that's
because
saying,
the girl
"Hey, can I have
has empathy and loves their parents."
Oh,
The
okay.
guy's-
The guy doesn't love his parents.
No, but he's more independent, and he's like, "Oh, everything's fine," and like the girl is hyper fixated on everything not being fine. Like for me, I'm like, I only have so many years with my parents.
You said
like,
the key word though.
that the guys are independent
You need to be an
to a
independent woman.
fault. To a fault. You guys are independent to a fault.
To
a fault.
I will say that there are drawbacks over time of me doing everything by myself because I am so set in my ways for things that I don't know. It's good and bad.
Of course.
But I recognize that.
Good.
But
that's
it's
like
always the female that's like, I want my parents to move in. Like, then the guy has to be like, okay.
Well, I talked to Nick. Luckily, that was so. I do this thing where I'll ask someone to give me a fun fact about themselves. So like I do this for like the first year of dating a guy.
Wait, how many fucking times are you asking a fun fact?
Nikki, I maybe asked him it like 5-6 times a week. I'd be like, tell me a fun, like we'd just be on the phone and I'm like, tell me a fun fact.
You started off with
I still do it. Like every once in a while, I'll be like, this happened maybe once in the past 7 months, but I was like, tell me a fun fact. Like tell me something I don't know about you yet. And it's a good way to get to learn the other person. Like know everything. Like there's so much that I know about Nick about this point. Like I know everything.
This is like,
but there's like some things that sometimes you don't get the opportunity to bring up or don't feel like sharing. And
and then there you are, like it's like a fucking company outing. Let's go around the room and everyone introduce themselves.
It's an icebreaker. It's your favorite thing. Your favorite thing in the world.
I fucking hate that more. Like I will leave the room because I just can't deal with the awkwardness.
I did a Hot Ones challenge with our friends, and Joe said the first thing he told me was
don't
like,
do the fucking
don't
intro.
do intros.
Yeah, don't do the
and like
intro.
I've never not done it, and I didn't really know how not to do it. So I go, "This is Margaret. This is Joe," and he's just like,
I was like, because it's just awkward. I don't like that shit. It's so forced and fake and weird. And you could have, you know what I do when I run meetings?
What?
I introduce everybody.
You do?
I do it, and I say what they do and blah blah blah. Because A, it saves time, and B, everybody's like so fucking awkward with that shit. I hate that. So
You're
like
so passionate about it.
Yeah, I just because it's the fucking worst, and it's so like somebody fucking read something online. How do you start a meeting? Oh, let's go around the room. Your name, how long you worked here, your role, and a fun fact. And it's like, what? First of all, I don't want to share shit with you people.
Oh,
I don't want to share fun facts.
a little negative.
I just don't want to share fun facts. And here's the other thing. Everybody forgets immediately. As soon as it goes to the next person, I don't know his fucking name. So like you're dating somebody and you're doing this, and then in the last episode, or one of the episodes, you talked about how you're awkward in conversation on dates, and you're like, what's your favorite color?
I'm so awkward. Like, never take me out on a first date at a restaurant. You want to talk about fun facts? I'll have you sit there in front of me, and I'll just be like, tell me a fun fact about your childhood. What kind of pizza toppings do you like? Oh, that's a good one that I do.
That's so bad. Yeah.
You know which one was like quirky and dorky that I used a lot when I was younger? I never used this with Nick, but what's your favorite kind of cheese?
His name is Doug, as you learned.
Doug!
That's my favorite kind of cheese.
His best friend's name is Cheese, and I just learned the other day.
It's your best friend.
And my best friend.
Your best friend, Cheese.
And I learned his real name for the first time.
And you thought his name was like Nate or something.
I thought like Nate was pretty like fitting. I was like, it's gonna be like Nate or like Adam. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then Doug.
Why
and
you say?
Can I say his last name or no? Would he not like it?
I don't think he would care.
Okay. It's like a really basic name. Doug Green. If this is like the stereotypical like, my name is Doug Green. Like
that's so rude.
No. Like
it's
stereotypical
so
like
white,
Caucasian.
White.
Yeah.
Caucasian, bro. Just say it. Say our color.
Well, like in the Middle East, like for us, like brown people, like it's like your common name would be like Muhammad Ali something. Like there's like a Muhammad.
I guess, but do you know a lot of Dougs? I know like 2.
I guess I don't really know. I went
like
to school
Adam
with one.
is more common. So when you say like, oh, Doug, like I don't know that many. Doug, I know two.
I guess I like more so think of it as like movies. Like I think of like a Doug as like a like he's your kid at school. Like
Maybe because of the cartoon
maybe
that it's like feels more common than it actually is.
maybe I used to love that show. Doug.
It was a great show.
It was a great show. Yeah. So anyways, Doug Green. Hi Cheese.
So we call him Cheese, and you heard the story.
Yeah. So I'm not great with first dates, but anyways. Oh, talking about money. Question: how do you feel about do you feel like you need to pay on the first date? Ooh.
As a guy?
I can already tell I won't like your answer.
As a guy?
Yeah. Like, do you think the girl should? Do you think the girl should offer? Do you think?
I think I find it endearing if you offer,
Okay.
but I usually feel the obligation to pay
Okay.
if I'm taking you out.
Okay. So you normally pay.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. I do like that answer.
What did you think?
I thought you were going to be like, like I feel
I
like
think
it's
you
nice
forget
to
how-
do like 50-50.
I think when you're like in it and your date, like now you're together, I think it's more common to go 50-50 or like I pay for this, you pay for that, because now you're already together. I
That's
think
how
it is a
Nikki and I
little
do it.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
But like if I usually offer, most of the times I offer, I'm like, oh no, like I'll do it with you or whatever. If a guy ever let me do it, you're done.
What, pay?
Yeah, like that was a test. Like, and you failed. You cannot let
Yeah,
me.
but you know what though? Like in a weird way, you'd still be interested because you'd be like, depending on how the date went, you know what I'm saying? You might be like, he seemed all right. Like I actually liked him, but what the fuck was that all about? The intrigue might bring you back for a second one.
Look at you, little psychology master over here.
I'm just saying, because you'd be like, why did he do that? He seemed cool. He seemed like he was fine.
There's like, you know what? I just thought of another segment. We got to do this whole thing on like relationships and like dating. Because I have so many questions.
On dating.
But I have so many questions. I have so
Okay.
many questions.
Well, is it not technically in this aspect? Because the dream was it's marriage and money here. This is what we're talking about.
True.
Which
True.
they're one and the same. Really.
Are they one and the same?
I
They're
think
just so intertwined.
A little bit, but again, it is interesting because your parents stayed together.
So I have a different view set on things.
That's what I'm saying. So, but it is interesting because mine, like,
How old, if you don't mind me asking, were you
bros,
young?
Don't
Were
do
you young?
that.
Were you young?
When
or
they got
were you
divorced?
older? Yeah.
5.
Okay.
And
So, you
so
were
John
young.
was 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's really
So-
all I've known. Like
That's
the
what I
memories
was
I have
wondering.
of before then weren't good. So it's kind of all I've really known.
No, that's where I was trying to find out if it was when you were a little older, because then at that point, like maybe your perception, like I wonder how your perception would have changed if it was when you were a lot younger, or what if you were
Right.
much older. Like things, obviously, you're like a product of your environment. So I only got to know like no prenup because my parents never did that. The one thing that I do have to say though that I veered away with from my parents is my parents don't do PDA or any DA, like anything besides a hug and then a kiss on the forehead when it's New Year's. And I quite literally went the opposite direction of
Bro.
like, I'm like, Joseph, just like touch my finger. Like, oh, that's
Yeah,
all
you're
I need.
like- But so it's not even just PDA on them. It's like the affection that you got as a kid.
Child. Yeah.
Right.
Like I think I got more, like I got appraisals about like school when I did really well in school, but I didn't get like,
Yeah. Like physical, like
yeah.
attention,
Yeah.
affection from
Yeah.
parents. Yeah.
So I went quite literally the opposite way, and you went
I-
quite literally the same way.
I went like
I went like, ooh, give me all the affection, and you were like, don't touch me.
yeah, they kind of like created a path of no affection, and then I built Las Vegas on that shit. Which was so funny because I met Gabby too.
Yeah.
And
Gabby's my cousin.
we had I was just a spectator for this interaction, and it was just so fucking funny. And then I started doing this. It was like she's just like, why are we shaking hands? It was so fucking funny to me.
My family's very like my family's very similar in the sense that like none of them really like Gabby gives me hugs, but like Gabby's not very.
I think
like,
I hugged Gabby.
Yeah,
I don't remember. I think I did though.
But I think of everyone, like I'm definitely the most endearing, like affectionate. Like I'm the one who like I'm like I could have sworn my love language was physical touch. And come to find out,
is this fucking thing that you?
Yeah.
I
need you to take the test.
I just want to know. You did it. You gave me options, and I picked something. It was
what do you remember what you had?
I don't know. It was something about like doing affirmations in the mirror or something.
Oh, I think I remember what yours was. Yours was
doing things.
So it's either physical touch, words of affirmation. Yours wasn't that.
No.
Quality time, receiving gifts, or acts of service or whatever.
Acts of service.
So yours was like your love language is like if a girl could help you be like, hey, like I know you have to do XYZ today. Like, can I help you set up the studio downstairs or something? Like that's like your love language.
Right.
I thought mine was physical touch. Apparently it's not. It's words of affirmation, which I think is
oh my God, you're like
so Nick every once in a while he'll like do a little joke and I'm like I love you, and he goes, I love you too. Words of affirmation. I love you too. I love you so much. Like,
that's a whole other thing too in that realm. Do you feel like
are we doing a psychology session now?
Well, do you feel like there's this thing where like if you say I love you all the time, like it has to, I'm not saying in your situation, but like I don't say that a lot because I feel like it loses its value.
So for me, I think it just like imprints in my mind. It just like validates my feelings towards you and your feelings towards me. So like to me, it always holds up. Yeah, it's a validation.
It doesn't ever lose its luster.
Like I feel like if you stopped saying I love you to me, then I would be like, what's going on?
Once you start,
I would have a mental breakdown. So there's that.
The words of affirmation, like in the mirror.
I am great. I am strong. I'm smart. I am money savvy. I'm not money
And you could be a motivational influencer.
There you
just
go.
Like that.
Full circle. Look at us go.
Just put your face in the camera and tell me what I need to be doing.
So moral of the story is save your money.
Don't fuck with my money.
Don't mess with his money. Get a prenup if you marry Joe. If you marry me, we don't necessarily. Well, now I'm going to be a little skeptical, so maybe we will need a prenup if you're going to start marrying.
You would benefit from some of my influence on my. I would also. I'll say it. I'll benefit from some of your.
I was going to say you could definitely benefit from some
but
of mine.
Like there's shit where like your rose-colored glasses, which that's what those are, right? They're technically a rose color, right?
Yes.
Those rose-colored glasses. I think have led to
my detriment,
some trouble in some regards.
Yeah.
So you need to be hardened, and I need to be softened.
You need to be softened, and
that's why we work. Yeah, totally.
I love that for me,
and I hate that for both of us. Really.
Yeah, it is what it is. How
32 minutes. I think that's good.
Heck yeah.
So that's the scuttlebutt. Over here.
Wow, we did really good with wrapping that episode up.
Oh, that was good.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Listen to us on all other platforms. Shout out to Skylar Batz from Studio 121 for always helping us. I love her so much.
And shout out to Trinity Beer Garden.
Shout out to
good
Trinity
peeps
Beer.
Over there.
Great peeps over there. And till the next time, we'll probably have some updates and adventures because Mr. Joseph is going to be going to see his niece for the first time very soon. So we'll have some updates about that. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
The Texas two-step. I got to do that.
Yeah.
Which, who the fuck wants to go there in July and August? But, you know.
We're going to do it.
You got a niece. You got to go.
You got to go. Bye,
all
guys.
Okay, bye. Dude, I did it again.
Hit it.
I'm like going sideways.
Stop jacking it off.
Stop jacking it off.